Alright, well hello everyone. Today we are going to replace the power door lock actuator on a 2001 Ford F150. This is the standard, I don't know, the cab and a half, the super cab, not the super crew but the super cab, so it has the half doors on the back. Been watching a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube videos explains how to get these panels off to get to the door lock actuator. Seems very simple, very straightforward, so let's try it and see what happens. Alright, the first thing to take off is this upper trim panel, and I got a small pry bar. We just want to be careful not to scratch the paint. There are two snaps, and it's just that simple. This is the first of two screws that hold this entire panel on. Alright, next we need to remove this panel that has the actual switches in it. Now lift up, it just kind of fell out. It's amazing. And pull this way. Here's the clip. Be careful not to pull from this end, because you'll break this clip off, and that would be bad. Alright, so inside here we have the control for the door lock mechanism, and this is the controls for the window. Before we go any further, we need to make sure that this window is in the up position, because if it's in the down position, it's going to interfere with all the things that we're going to be doing later. The door lock, see if it works. See, it's making clicking sounds, so we know that it's getting power. I've owned this truck about 4 years, and when I got it, the driver's side was clicking like this but wouldn't actuate. The passenger side was working okay until very recently. This is the one that's the royal pain in the ass, because obviously if these doors try to lock automatically, normally it will lock on its own, but it won't unlock. So you have to reach across the seat and open the door for somebody, and that's a real pain in the ass. So when the second lock actuator failed, I had no choice but to jump in here and try to fix it. So excuse me. I got the actuators on Amazon for about $25 per side, so they're inexpensive. Look at how these actually work. There's a little clip. Squeeze it. Yeah, that was easy. Once you see how it works, right? There's a clip right here. Squeeze that down. Gently rock it from side to side. And bang, it's out. There you go. Alright, next thing is this panel around that actual door handle. Let's see if it's as easy to get off as the others. And it was. Nothing broken. All the clips are in good shape. Moving right along. Here is our next screw. Remember, there are only two screws that you need to take out to be able to take this entire panel off, and this is the second of the two. So let's take these two screws out. Alright, that's our two screws, and now, if you believe the other videos, this thing should just lift straight up. Oh, you got one extra light. That's the one extra wires for this light here. Okay, that just pulls out. And here's our panel. No broken clips. This thing is easy to work on. Alright. So I'm only interested in this side, so don't touch anything on this side. Just need to gently pull this back. Alright, so here we are. The door lock mechanism goes down, back into there, and put the camera down in here. Alright, so that's what we're up against. Let's see that. That's with the camera inside the door. Alright. And it's recommended to remove this bolt here, which is part of the window guide. And if we take this bolt out, it will free up some space for us to work on the actuator. Okay, so part number 746149 is for the passenger side. These are made by Dorman. And this is the unit. Okay, so the orientation is, let's try to get this right, like this. Alright, so if you look inside the, you can see inside the hole there. I got a flashlight in there trying to light things up a little bit. And so that's the orientation, and this is the actual arm that will move this rod up and down. Okay, so based on that, if we look at this side, we see the power connector is down there at the bottom, and that is why we removed this bolt, because that allows us to push the window guide kind of away from the actuator and gives us a little more room to work. Now, I'm not really going to be able to show this, so let me jump in there and see what I can do, and I'll give you any notes about what happens. Alright, so step one, what I did was, you can see it, I put a bungee cord on the window guide. In here. The window guide, this is the bungee right here. And it goes through this hole, and I hooked it on the door handle here. And that was to lift the window guide out of the way a little bit. And then using this very long extension with a straight end on it, I was able to fiddle around in there and get this power cable, this power connector, off the back of the actuator. So that was kind of a pain. And that may be the most difficult part, but we'll see. So the actuator is still in there, and you can see there's a little bit of play, so you could actually maybe loosen the actuator while this is still connected. But essentially what I did was I pried the lock open, and then I pushed on it, and then I pried it, pushed on it, pried it, pushed on it, and finally it just fell out. So now the actuator's in there, and next step is to get it out. So one of the guides said that just get a big screwdriver and wedge it in here and pry this way to pop the actuator out. Just don't bend any of the metal components, which is what I did. And of course this is broken, so we care about snapping this this tab off, which is what I did. Of course, it's brittle after over 10 years of service. So here is a comparison of the two units. They are not the same. Okay. This one has a metal arm, slightly different shape, but you know, the important parts are all in the same place. The power connector, this clip arrangement here. All right. So let's see if we can get it back in the hole. All right. That was surprisingly easy. And again, I'm pretty sure you can't see in there very well. But effectively what happens is this is the orientation, right? And then these little notches and tabs and stuff line up. Sorry, these little notches and tabs right here line up with some metal brackets down here by the actual door lock mechanism. And they slide in like this. Click. So you put them in. You can go ahead and put the power connector on. Make sure that that this pin is lined up with the hole in this bar, right? Because there's a little clip down there. And then you just slide the whole unit on. It'll go click, and then you'll know you've got it. Double check that the pin is in there. Now, the thing to do now is connect up your panel and, sorry, wrong one, lock and unlock your door. So, here we go. Nice and strong. So, all we need to do now is reverse our steps, put everything back together again, and we're done.